welcome to another episode of AndersMill Knits with myself, Emily, as your host. You can find me on let's start with Ravelry. That's the best place. And on Ravelry as akamillie, and on Instagram as akamillie907. And if you want to message me, Instagram is mainly the place to go. I am terrible at checking my messages on Ravelry. Absolutely terrible. However, you can also find me on Ravelry under the AndersMill Knits group. Not much activity going on there. I'm just terrible at forum chats, guys. I really am. And then we have another group called For the Love of Minis. And in that group, you can find our ongoing 12-month knit along for the 12 gift knit socks. And I actually have something to show for that. And let's see, what else do we have going on over there? I think that's it. Oh, well, we have our 24 days of cheer, which if you signed up for that, you've already gotten your swap partner, and you should have either A, gotten notification that your package is in the mail, or B, like myself, already received your package. So today, I don't normally say this, but today is what the date is, but today is November 16th? Yes, November 16th. And I'm coming to you from a very cold Alaska. It's like, actually, let me check. Well, it's 18 degrees. I think last night it got down to 9, but we've been fluctuating crazy with our weather and our temperatures. Just a few days ago, we had cloudy skies and snow, and it was in the lower 30s. And so things are helter-skelter out there in the roads. Now, let me tell you, like, it's kind of almost like springtime, where it's melty, where it half melted, and then it froze, and then it snowed on top of that. And it's just been interesting. So either A, we've got cloud coverage, which warms us up about 20 degrees, or B, we've got no cloud coverage like today, and we're pretty cold. We get down pretty cold already, and it is November. So the weather changed pretty quick. So what has been going on in my life? I have been a crafty adventurer, that is for darn sure, and you'll see all about that coming up in my next segment. But otherwise, did I start my new job the last time we talked, or I don't know if I had or not, but I am the Director of Training and Community Resourcing for our local Catholic Social Services here in Alaska. And that's been keeping me pretty darn busy. I have already provided a training. I'm providing another 2-part training this week. I've been in trainings, as in I've been getting some certifications that I need. I'll be in another one of those this week. I've been doing a lot of meeting with my other coworkers, director of different programs, to assess needs and how I can best help their teams grow and learn and actually not just learn and utilize, but implement. That's the word I'm looking for. The strategies, the skills that I'm going to be teaching, or I'm starting to teach. So this week I'm working on presenting a training that I developed called Compassion Fatigue Awareness. And I think that's specifically or especially poignant right now due to our, the climate in which we live, the COVID society, as it were. And so working in the social work field, either as a counselor, as a caseworker, as a case manager, as an advocate, as a caregiver, as a mom, as a dad, as a brother, as a sister, like compassion fatigue is happening and is now, people. And so my whole goal with this training is to bring awareness to what is compassion fatigue, the different stages that I see compassionate fatigue following that can and often does lead to burnout in this field, and what we can do to take care of ourselves to prevent us from getting to burnout. So, life learned experiences galore in this training, that is for dang sure. So I'm really looking forward to that. Otherwise, I've been, like I already said, crafting up a storm. I've been watching a lot of TV while I've been doing that. I have found on Amazon this documentary series, the Victorian Farm series, filmed in England. I'm just started the Edwardian Farm series. I watched another farm series about a guy coming in to help new farmers try to figure out their niche and their business plan. That was really interesting and also really frustrating. There were some people I was just like, you are not farmers. And let's see, we've been watching Columbo. I don't know if you guys remember Columbo, but I love Columbo. My memory doesn't say that the Columbo episodes were movie length, but we're on season 2, and I know we don't have all of the episodes. I figure we don't anyway, but we've been watching the episodes that are on Amazon Prime, I think it is, and just been loving that. Columbo is just so amazing. The way he presents himself as a fumbling, I don't want to say buffoon, but just kind of like just almost like an innocent. The key is his mind. It's like Sherlock Holmes up there, and the way that he approaches it is with this I wonder why thought process. I've noticed. I really love it. And then I've been catching up on my Real Housewives of, wait, what is it? Is it Beverly Hills? That's it. It's so different now. The cast is completely pared down, and people that I'm used to are not there. Wait, is it Beverly Hills? Oh crap. What's the one going on right now? I can't remember. And then of course this last week the new franchise of the Real Housewives started, which is the Housewives of Salt Lake City, and boy howdy did that first episode make me angry. Like, I was offended a lot by the way that these women were portraying the LDS church. Now, some of you may know that I grew up as LDS Mormon, and some of you might not. I don't attend the LDS church right now. I love their concepts, their precepts, their teachings. I absolutely love them. I think they're beautiful and very family oriented. I love it. Some of my values or the way I live my life does not align with the values of the LDS church, and so I have chosen to step away from that. And I've got a pretty complicated relationship with God, and so we've been working through that, him and I. So just kind of taking our time. But anyway, the way that it was presented on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I just immediately was just like, are you kidding me? You do not represent the LDS faith well, and I am offended in a lot of ways that you are calling yourself Mormon because of the way that you're presenting yourself. It's completely opposite of the precepts of the church. And yes, everyone is human. The thing is that when you step out and you become a quote unquote spokesperson for that way of life, I just struggle with it. And now I'm gonna get off my soap opera box, But otherwise, I think that's about it. COVID cases up here in Alaska have been rising exponentially. The last I heard was, I think, the Saturday report. Now this is Monday. The Saturday report had us at like 745 cases on that day. Now that might not seem a lot to you guys, especially in the bigger metropolitan cities. However, we're a small community up here, pretty small. Anchorage is the biggest city, and I can't remember if that was 745 cases in Anchorage or all of the state. I'm thinking it was Anchorage. But that's a good chunk for one day, and we know that they're behind on the testing. It's just like Jeremy and I had to go get tested a while back because one of his co-workers got it. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember if he got it or if his son got it, but I think it was his coworker got it. And so we had to go get tested, and the car line that we were in to be tested took us over an hour and a half to get through, and it was blocks and blocks long. And so, and it you know, before, when I had gotten tested a couple times for my work, just, you know, as a precautionary measure, I would get my results back in 24 to 48 hours, and it took over a week for them to get our test results back. So now, that was a few weeks ago, and now here we are, and they're saying 745 cases reported that day, and they're behind. So I don't know how many cases. We have no actual real-time knowledge of how many cases are around here. But COVID is real, but that doesn't mean that we can't still be kind to each other. And I'm not going to tell you this story just now to toot my own horn. I'm just going to, you know, show you how I'm managing being kind and still reaching out to others. So I went this morning to go get myself a soda at our neighborhood gas station, and there was a lady who was walking with a cane, and she looked very cold, and she just asked, "Hey, can you give me a ride home?" And I said, "Absolutely. Like it's just too cold for you to be walking out here." And I just was okay with it. So what we did was, she was wearing a mask. She was wearing a mask the whole time, even when she approached me out in the outdoors. And I wore a mask in my car. She stayed on her side of my car. I stayed on mine. And, you know, we chatted a tiny bit, but, it was fine. We didn't need to talk very much. And I could tell she felt awkward about having to ask for a ride. And I was just like, I don't care. I never feel awkward. But, like, I felt comfortable with that because I knew I had taken precautions. And yes, I did wipe down my car afterwards just in case. So there's that as well. So there's ways we can still help. You know, right now at Catholic Social Services, every year we have a Thanksgiving blessing event, and it is where we gift the Thanksgiving dinner to families in need, and it's a huge event. It's community-wide. I've always, well, not always, but many years I've participated in this event as a volunteer, and it takes about 300 people to pull this off. And we had a meeting last week, and we had 30 volunteers. So is that 10%? I think that's 10% of the people needed in order to help. And we have record numbers of people requesting assistance this year. So, you know, there's a lot of precautions going out there. And, you know, I'm gonna be volunteering. I'm gonna ask Jeremy if he'd like to join me, but I'm not gonna blame him if he doesn't want to, or shame him in any way, because everybody must do what they feel comfortable with. But there's a need, and I can meet that need, and I'm healthy enough to do that. I do have to be aware of my diabetes and my fibromyalgia and all that, but I can still help, man. Okay, now that I've run the gamut of my vocal cords and my mouth is dry, I guess maybe I should close out that segment by saying, you know, there's ways that you can still reach out to your community. You know, I really loved, I'll give you one more hint here, or one more example. I really loved the response that was given to one of our designers that we know and love, and I can't remember her name all of a sudden, but she had posted that she was putting her patterns on sale and she needed help so that she could get a plane ticket to go be with her mom during her mom's last hours. And the response to that was immediate and overwhelming. And I just absolutely love you guys for the way that the outpouring of love that you provided this woman. And she was able to buy the plane ticket. She was able to be home with her mom during this time. And that's the kind of giving and loving and sharing that I want and need to be a part of, you know? So how about you? How is your giving going at this time? Or are you in a position where you need to be receiving at this time? And if so, feel free to message me on Instagram. Again, it's akamillie907. Or if you feel comfortable enough doing it, you can put a post down in the YouTube forum down there, and we can share. By the way, like and subscribe. I never remember to say that. Go ahead, like and subscribe, share to your friends and family if you like. I don't know if this is everybody's cup of tea. I ramble, so If rambling isn't your cup of tea, stay clear of this podcast. That's for sure, or YouTube channel. Okay, well that's how we're gonna wrap up that segment. So why don't we get into what completed projects, FOs. There's artwork. My crafting life is varied right now. I'm doing a lot of painting. I'm not good at painting, so don't ask me. But I did paint some snowflakes. I painted some little ornaments and some things that I can put pictures of Jeremy and I on once I finally print some pictures that are Christmas themed. And another thing that we've been struggling with here is we've got a drafty condo. Everything is askew. I've mentioned this so many times, especially when I chronicled the story of the kitchen. So, but one thing we have to be very aware of here is all of the drafts. So we've got some heavy winter curtains up to try and block out the drafts of this whole window of, this whole wall of windows. Whew! I just opened up that curtain a little bit there and I immediately felt a cold draft. Wow. And then of course our front door, there is a large gap and all around the perimeter or the outline of the door. And so to meet the need of things, we've jerry-rigged a bunch of different things. We've put a hook up above the door so that we can then hang a towel and a long blanket so that it drapes over one of the door jambs. And then I made this huge honking thing, this snake, if you will, this door snake. I got all of these quilt squares from Hobby Lobby probably years ago when I lived in Portland, because we definitely don't have Hey, Bubba. No barking, sweetheart. I apologize for that. Hey, come to place. Hey, come to place. Do I need a pause? I might need a pause, people. Okay, he's in place now. Before he was on a rocking chair. I'm actually in his rocking chair right now. And so, whatever. Stay in place. Anyway, so I got these quilt squares and I didn't do anything special, guys. I took the length measure. Oh, look at that. Ridiculous. I took the length measure of the door and then I went a little over that. I think I went about 3 to 4 inches extra past the width of the door. There we go, it's the width of the door. And then I just sewed up all of these squares together in a kind of just like I was making a quilt, just a huge square thing, just making sure I got the measurements right. And then I just folded it over and sewed it into a sack, a long sack. And then I took rice and I put rice at the bottom and I did stuffing, polyfill, that's the word, at the top. And I just gradually filled it up, and boy howdy did this make a mess because I do not have a funnel. So, that was messy. Until we got to the top, and then I was about to close it up, and I thought to myself, I want a way to pick this up really easily and just maneuver it easily. So I had some ribbon. I just found some random ribbon in my stash, and it's actually the ribbon that has this wire going through it, and I just folded it over and seamed up right, snuggled up next to the wire there, and then I just plopped that in as well. Finished filling it with Jeremy's help, and voila! This bad boy has really been helping with the draft situation. And yeah, the rice moves around. I've got a huge bunch of rice right here right now, but it's really easy to fix that situation. So, and I could not do this whole thing full of rice. I never would have been able to pick this up. As it is, I think this thing is about 20 pounds probably. But because I also did polyfill, that was how we did that. We still get a huge draft in the door. And I've been thinking about okay, do I want to try and figure out how to hang a curtain in front of the door too? Do I want to try and figure out how to make these to then kind of magnetize to all the areas around the door jamb, because these work really well. Of course, I couldn't, if they're going to be magnetized to go up this way, I can't put rice in it. It would just have to be all polyfill. Jeremy really likes that idea. He thinks the curtain idea is not going to work at all. And I mean, I can't see how he's wrong about that. I think he's completely right, but it keeps sticking in my head like that is something you can do, Emily. I don't know. We shall see. I'm still working on it. The whole house is jerry-rigged. I mean, I've nailed up blankets because I don't have tapestries. And so I've just got these old woolen blankets. Oh, did you hear that? That I found again over at my parents' house. Like, they still have those, my poor parents. It's never going to be their house. I mean, I still have lots of stuff over there. And I went over there recently and I even asked my mom, hey, do you have any wall quilts or wall hangings or tapestries that I could, you know, borrow, steal for the winter? And she's like, no, not really. And I didn't think she did. But we went hunting and we found a whole bunch of blankets of mine. And so I grabbed a couple of them and I've got them tacked up on my wall in my bedroom. Very ghetto, very ghetto. And, you know, so it's kind of in my head that I'd like to make something or maybe find something already pre-made on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, or Craigslist that somebody else has put some love and energy into. Share the love, right, guys? Anyway, to then put up on my walls. And then I painted, I'll put a video up in the corner here. I painted these snowflakes that I've kind of made two different garlands type things. I don't know, wreath. I don't know what they're called, bunting, something. That I just kind of wanted to put them up on the wall. I just thought it would be nice. And it'd be a nice, like, non-specific holiday thing that we could have up the whole winter long. I thought that'd be cool. So I did all of those things. I know I did more than that, but I literally can't think of any the other things and where they would be. So there you go. But I have a lot of knitting. Okay, so let's get that over here. So last time I talked about a pair of socks that I was knitting by Mina Phillips. I finished that second sock. These are going to be gifts for my mother for Mother's Day. Let's see if I can't get the light right. I should not have chosen this spot to sit to record, but I don't know. I was so comfortable working in this spot today, and I just was like, I just wanted to continue that. But anyway, so the socks are done. They're really pretty. I'm really proud of myself. They're beautiful green. I think they'll be beautiful on my mom's feet. And these are going to be her birthday present come December 23rd. And who knows what is going to be her Christmas present. I still haven't figured that out. I have things in my head, but I don't necessarily need to knit or something. And in fact, she doesn't really ever ask for anything, period. Although she always asks for knitted socks. I just don't know that I'm in the mood to knit another pair of socks. And isn't that kind of redundant to give a pair of socks for your birthday and then 2 days later for Christmas, give another pair of socks? Oh, I'm sorry. My brother's birthday is the 23rd. My mom's birthday is the 28th. So opposite, you know, on Christmas Day, she gets socks. And then on her birthday, 3 days later, she gets socks. Yeah, no, I don't know if I'm going to do that kind of thing. I have something done that you have never seen, and I am extremely proud of it. So let's see how this shows up for you. But dun, da, 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 I knit Jeremy a Christmas stocking. This stocking is by She Thinks She Can on Ravelry and on Instagram, and she is our designer for November. And I have completed this one for Jeremy. This one's called Fresh Pine. I think. Yes, this one's called Fresh Pine. And it was a complete delight to knit up. Just absolute delight. Now, 2 of the colorways are the same as in her pattern, but I did switch out. She does hers in gray, you know, but I did green instead. So the red is Knit Picks Palettes Pimento. The white is Knit Picks Palettes Cream, and the green is Knit Picks Palette. Let's find out, shall we? I forgot. Oh, actually, it's right here. Knit Picks Palette Ivy. And boy, howdy, this is not showing it right. Of course, you know, I'll put in some pictures, but most of you have probably seen it already on Instagram anyway. But so I'm using Knit Picks Palette for Knit Picks Knit Picks? Yes, palette for this. Oh, it just feels so great. Now there are some mistakes in it. I know where the mistakes are. I don't need to point them out. It's okay. We're good. That shows better right there. So, but oh my gosh, I love this motif right here. This was super challenging, being able to carry the floats behind, the long floats behind on the truck. However, and I was really nervous about it. Oh, by the way, it's repeated on both sides. And I was really nervous about doing that, but it worked out well. I used a US size 2 needle on here. The one motif that I really struggled with during the knitting of was the trees down here. And it's because it wasn't as intuitive as the others were. But even saying that, it was pretty darn easy to follow her instructions. My tension, it tightened a little bit. If you notice, it goes in a tiny bit about right here, and then the tension stays about the same. And that's because I haven't done color work in a long time. So, and I'd never done corrugated ribbing. But you know, see, there's one of my mistakes. I said I wasn't gonna point them out. Anyway, so I think there's 60 stitches on each side. I think, and then it's just repeated. And I just loved it. I watched like so much of that Victorian farm series doing this. That was awesome. And I want to go back and watch the Victorian farm series again when I can actually just pay it complete attention and not be doing like color work and stuff. Oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. I can't stop talking about it. Oh. Now, okay, so the one thing, I haven't read the pattern all the way through. That's my fault. But the one thing I noticed, if you guys notice, there isn't a hook to hang this up. So either A, I've got to knit an I-cord and attach that, or B, there's instruction for it and I didn't read that part. So I just got to keep reading and find it. So that's the last that needs to be done with this, but I'm still counting it as done. Done, done, done. So while I'm on this subject, why don't we talk about it's not on my needles. It was supposed to be on my needles yesterday, but it was a Sunday that I felt very productive with, and yet at the same time that I just needed to rest and just relax. And so I got a little bit of knitting done here on one project and got up and did some projects around the house, did a little bit of, went through a whole bunch of mail, made dinner, did a little art project. We cleaned out and reorganized our hallway closet, our linen closet that also stores all of our tools in. Don't ask me why those things go together. They don't, but that's how it's happened in this house. But anyway, otherwise I was sitting on the couch vegging out, and okay, so here's the pattern that I just finished, Fresh Pine by She Thinks She Can Designs. And like I said, she used gray for this part. And by the way, these are not in color. So my pattern that I am going to cast on using the exact same colors is called Snowy Mountain Stocking. And that's what mine's going to be right there. And I'm super excited about it. It's going to be using the same needles, the same colors, and we'll just see how things go. So let's see. Yeah, she used the colorway Ash for hers, but I'm using, of course, the green. Although I could use the Ash because I did buy the colorway Ash, and it would be nice if ours were slightly different. I just don't know. We shall see. I don't know. But that is living in my project bag that I got last year for my 24 Days of Cheer, and I'm very pleased with that. I love this bag. I am also cast on a pair of, what do they call it? No pattern socks? I don't remember. But just a pair of socks for Jeremy, and he requested that his cuff leg area be shorter. He seems to like that better. So this was flying pretty good, and then I got going on my Christmas stocking for Jeremy, and this kind of got dumped by the wayside. But it's a really fun colorway. It's by Super Garn, and it's the AKTIV brand. strumpful, which means a sport weight, and 75% superwash wool and 25% polyamide, and the colorway is 4478. Very descriptive, but here we go. Let's do this. So that is the colorway. It goes from gray to green and orange with speckles, and orange with speckles, then a blue, a big block of blue, down to a brown, and then back to the gray. And I'm just letting it go as it will. I did the fish lips kiss heel. I made sure and did the fish lips kiss heel, I think. Or did I? No, I just did the fish lips kiss heel when it was time, because if you notice, there's that blip of gray right there. Right there. And so I didn't pause when I finished a stripe color and just immediately go into the heel. Nope, I just did it as I felt like it, and let's see how it goes. So I'm on the foot. I would say I'm probably about halfway down the foot. And so I'm just enjoying this. I'm on US size 0s, I think. These feel like 1s though. I'm on my interchangeables, and I can't see the lettering. I've probably worn them off. I've used these so much. That's the problem. When they print them on the needles, they wear off pretty easily. So yeah, I might need to change where I am recording, because I'm noticing everything is being blown out. So why don't I pause that, rearrange things, and come back to you in just a sec. Okay guys, how's this? I'm now on my couch. I've got my mom's and my niece's artwork that they've done for me up. Can't tell, I know it's written on the back who did what, but, and then that's one of my garlands that I did. You can tell the different levels of painting skills, let me tell you, between mine and theirs, by the way. But back to what I've been knitting on. So Jeremy socks are in the works. Now, gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this now. In one of my beautiful bags from, here, let's go down just a tiny bit. There we go. One of my beautiful bags from my good friend Stephanie of Hot Pink Socks Reviews on Instagram, and then the Rusted Stitch on Etsy. I don't know that she's updated her Etsy shop in quite a while, so because she's just been really busy as a mom with 2 kids in school that she's got to homeschool now because of the COVID thing. Yep, been really busy. But in here, I have a really exciting project, and it is the Wildfire Cowl. Oh wait, no, that's not the name of the pattern. The pattern is called the Forest Mosaic Cowl, but it is for the K of Knit for the Soul Designs. It is for her Forest Fire KAL. And what she did here, she designed this beautiful mosaic design in 2 different ways. One is a shawl and one is a cowl. Now, secretly, they're both kind of knit the exact same, because the cowl is seamed at the end, but it's knit like a shawl. But I wanted to do the cowl because that will just hang on my neck better. I find a lot of times with my shawls that they start coming loose, and then oftentimes I'll have one end dragging on the ground and blah, 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 blah when I'm out. So, first world problems, seriously. So I wanted to do the cowl during her cowl, her K-A-L, get it? And let's see here. This is in benefit of the Oregon and California fires of this last year. I wish I thought to do something like this. I'm not a designer, but I would have designed something just to get money to help for the fire that happened up here last year, not last summer, the summer before last. So let's see, that would have been 2019, I believe, is when we had our big fire out on the Kenai. We had it all over the state, up in the Denali Park and everything, and our state was pretty ravaged pretty badly. And then this year, of course, we had the huge fires in California and in Oregon. And so Kay wanted to give back to those things because she lives in Oregon. And so a percentage, so she was giving you a code so you could get a certain percentage off, and then another certain percentage of whatever you paid was going to go to whichever. She had a whole bunch of different organizations listed, and you got to choose which organization your donation went to. So for me, I was like, heck no, am I going to use a coupon to take money off when you're already donating? That just seems, I mean, I guess I'll just say gluttonous. I don't know. So, but I picked obviously the Oregon wildfire. Oh, it was Washington, Oregon, and California, I believe. Yes. And I picked the Oregon wildfire organization that she had listed there. And so that's where my contribution went. And I'm very happy about that. And she's got prizes. We've got people all the way over in Europe knitting this thing. Like, I'm like, how in the world did they hear about it? Obviously, you know, social media knows no international borders or country borders or anything like that. And I hope I am not. Okay. But I chose Malabrigo Tosh to do my mosaic cowl with. Now the main color is this blue azure, and it looks black on the screen, but it is blue. My shirt's a purpley blue, and this is like a navy blue. It's beautiful. And then I have an ochre here, and those are my two colors. Now this is my contrasting color, and this is what I have completed so far. And I have a mistake in here too. I've got a couple mistakes actually, but it's so beautiful. Look at that, guys. And I'm mosaic knitting. I have never been successful at mosaic knitting before. So I worked on these diamonds yesterday. That's what I completed yesterday with sitting around. And my mistake is that I just figured out yesterday that this whole middle spine here is all supposed to be the main color, which is blue. And every time I have a gold, I knit it in gold, but I'm just like, you know what, that adds character. I like it. And so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to do it throughout the whole rest of the cowl. Let's see. You can see it down here where these stripes are. That's not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be ochre. I don't think. The gold color. I don't think. I think this whole spine, but if I look at the picture, I think the middle spine, yep. The middle spine is all supposed to be the main color. So you can see that middle spine there. And that's her daughter being her model. She's always her model. So I am loving this. I am just having so much fun with it. I don't care if I win a prize. Boy, howdy, it would be nice to win a prize because I never win anything. Whatever. But I don't care. I'm having a great time. It was for a great cause. It's a beautiful design, and I just am really excited to have this to wear as soon as I get it done for the rest of the winter. So that's it. That's all I've been knitting on. However, I have been crocheting a tiny bit on my rag rug for my kitchen, and it is atrocious looking. That purple is, I just got some fabric in my mouth. That purple is so out of place with the other colors. It's an eyesore. But I'm gonna do it anyway because this is a rag rug. The spirit of a rag rug is that it is using scraps that you have. It's from just around the house, and you just use it up and reuse it, and then you can put it in the recycling when it's all done. But I have been loving the process of it. It is a little challenging around the corners to try to figure out the increases and everything, but I'm still loving it. I'm still having a great time with it, says the woman who hasn't touched it in like a week and a half. But it takes a long time to do this. This is not an easy crochet sequence. And I do have footage of me starting this project. I just haven't compiled it all together, and I don't even know if I will because, of course, you know, I'm not a great photographer or videographer, and it's just, you know, it's haphazard, and I'm okay with explaining things. I mean, I'm a trainer for heaven's sakes right now, but I've still got my big ball. It's not as big as my head anymore. Actually, maybe it's about the same size as my head. I don't know. But I know I'm gonna need probably another ball this size to complete this project. So I'll have to do that. I have to sew up a whole bunch of strips together again sometime soon. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep on going with that. And I am crocheting that using an N hook. So that's the hook that I'm using. And it's actually a perfect size. I really like this size. It doesn't, well, okay, it does hurt my hands because the fabric is a little bit difficult to work with. So there's a lot of two-handed movements. Like when I'm crocheting, I oftentimes have to use my other hand to lift the loops over the current loop that I'm working on and stuff. And so, but it's okay. It's all good. I think it's just the nature of the beast of it being so big. The yarn being so big. What is funny is that I was watching the Edwardian Farm series yesterday. Now I'm not through it. I think I've watched 3 episodes of it, but all in a row. 3 of the 12, I believe there are. And I think in like the 2nd episode, the historian woman on there, she actually makes a rag rug. Not this style though, but she took a burlap sack, a whole bunch of scrap fabric, and she and her daughter crocheted it, or rug hooked it more like, into the burlap sack, and it came out gorgeous. I love it. And she was talking, she just talked briefly about it, but she was talking about how labor intensive that was. But she also talked about how economical it was, because you took things that were no longer, I don't know, presentable, usable, that otherwise would be thrown away, repurposed it, including the burlap sack, by the way, repurposed it into something useful for those cold, non-heated Edwardian floors, you know. And then even then, when the rag rug, after many years of use, was no longer usable, you could put it in the compost pile and it would still be used to help fertilize everything on the farm. And I'm just like, I love this cycle. It's absolutely marvelous. And I feel like I'm contributing to that in some way. Now, granted, I went out and bought my sheets, but I did buy them secondhand. So people had already given them away as saying, I don't want to use these anymore. Not that they were at the state where they're not usable anymore, but I felt like I did a good job there because my sheets are still good here. So, yeah, I'm just going to use them up. So that's what I've been having on my hooks, my needles, my paintbrush. That's all on my sewing machine. I'm very varied this time around. But lastly, now this isn't completely full of all the yarn that maybe it is. All the yarn I bought, but I went and purchased a large order from Knit Picks so I could do those, so I could do the Christmas stockings. And I didn't know what color I was going to end up using, and so I got a couple different colors. But I've got this nice big basket of yarn that I purchased from Knit Picks. And so I kind of wanted to just go over and show you what I got my hot little hands on. Now, of course, it's very difficult to go to Knit Picks and not buy Felici sock yarn, and I'm no exception to that. So while I recently gave away to a very good friend some of my Felici colorways just because I felt like they would like them, I kind of replenished my stock again, and I love this colorway. I think this one's the carrots. Yeah, this one's Carrot Cake. I just think that's so much fun. Now, if I was going to knit this up for anybody, it would be my mom. So she might get 2 pairs of socks because I might cast this on for her. Then the other colorway in Felici that I got was the What's It's Galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. You guys totally didn't want to hear that. But obviously this is from Ariel, the Little Mermaid, even though it didn't say that it was themed for Ariel, but it really looks like Ariel, doesn't it? So I got that. And then of course I got the different colors. I got way too much because I only used half a ball of the green, and I got 4 greens because I thought it said that you were going to use at least 1 ball, per stocking. And I was like, okay, well, I'm doing 2 stockings, so I guess I want to make sure that I have enough, so I'll just buy 2 balls of each color. I've got way too much now. So I've got 3 full balls of Ivy and the Knit Picks palette left. I'm gonna start my stocking using the already in use skeins from my leftover skeins from Jeremy's stocking, and then when I need to break into a new one, that's when I'll do it. And so I've got 3 of those. I've got 3 of the pimento. And so 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 more of the cream. Oh, there we go. And then the colorway that the pattern did call for was the ash color, which is a gray. And I didn't know if I wanted to do that. Now, I think it would have been gorgeous in that. Very sophisticated. But Jeremy and I thought that the green suited him more because it was one of his favorite colors. And so, of course, I was going to do that. Now, again, I might do mine with this gray color, even though I'm doing the Snowy Mountains where there's a whole bunch of trees and the green makes more sense. I still might do the gray because I'm kind of excited about that idea. Then I found a pattern for another stocking on Knit Picks that I really liked, and that was what I was actually going to go for. And then I remembered that She Thinks She Can was our designer, and she has some amazing designs, and so I was like, dude, I'm going to go with hers. And it just so happened she was also, her yarn was also Knit Picks. By the way, that's an extremely affordable pattern that I did for Jeremy. Where is, oh, the stocking's way over there. But when you think about it, Knit Picks palette, 1 skein is about what, $3? And I used, so one stocking is $9 in yarn. Because, I mean, and it's not even that because you're only using partial skeins. And so you can go on and knit a second stocking, and I'll give you an update on how much yarn I use, but you could outfit your entire family in stockings for less than $20. Think about that. I mean, goodness gracious. It's pretty darn awesome. So she chose quite well. But then Watson's going to get a stocking too, but his is going to be knit out of Wool of the Andes bulky weight. And I picked the colors. They didn't have all the cream color for the stocking, so I picked a gray. But this one, let's see. So this colorway is Garnet Heather. And then this colorway is Dove Heather. And the final colorway is Solstice Heather. And that's, again, a nice deep royal blue. I don't remember. No, I'm not even going to try. If I remember during the editing process, I'll see if I can't find the picture of the design that I'm going to do for Watson from Knit Picks that I believe I've already purchased the pattern for. I sure hope I did, because if I didn't, I don't know that I can find it again. Anyway, and if I remember, I'll put it up on here. But the last thing I got from, I'm just on the website, just kind of cruising around. I got my Felici. I've got the colors that I need for my stockings, and I'm still just kind of cruising around. And I saw this Hawthorne sock reels. And I was just like, oh my gosh, these are so fun! Because they're, you know what? I'm going to open it right now. Because I want to get into this bad boy so bad. Although I don't know that I'll do that until after Christmas, but... So, yeah. Okay, how do we do this? I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I don't want to ruin the beautiful wheel thing, but I also want to see what's going on. So, you know, it's the sock blank, but in a little tiny tube. Isn't that beautiful? And look at the colors. Oh, that's just not showing up very well. That's black. I didn't realize that was black. I thought it was a different color, but I just love these colors. And look, it's just like a spool or a reel, a movie reel, or a spool of thread. There we go. Ah, I could not resist that. And so I got myself this as well. So those are the things that I purchased recently. It's been difficult. I do not want to be purchasing more yarn, but guys, there's so much beautiful yarn out there. I feel like I need to do my part, you know, support my dyers. In fact, Teeny Bobbin, I don't remember. She's got some Christmas colorways coming out for pre-order this coming Friday. Now, that kind of annoys me because I'm not going to get the Christmas colors before it's Christmas, because it's a 3-week turnaround, and so it's a 3-week turnaround and then a mailing time as well. I'm going to be lucky if I get the yarn by Christmas, let alone, you know, be able to cast it on. So that's a little bit of a crying shame, but at the same time, I'm like, it's so beautiful. I want it so bad. And then of course I was playing around in my yarn, looking at different things, and I came across, like, for Giddy yarns, I came across this color, which is not necessarily Christmas. It's actually I think it's a rose colorway, Bouquet of Roses. And she's a podcaster, and we haven't spoken in a while, but we started our podcast at the same time, and years ago, and we just clicked. And she's a beautiful mom with little ones, and she started dyeing up yarn, and I've got a couple of her balls of yarn just sitting out because they're so beautiful, and this is one of them. So inspiration, but I've got so much yarn. I gotta maybe that's what we need to do. I mean, Boston Jen, she's been doing the Stash Down challenge for the past couple of years, and I don't know if I need to join in with hers because I'm not really good at hosting Stash Down or stash busting project. Okay, I'm not good at hosting knit-alongs. Let's just put it that way. Actually, to like, you know, put a name on it, I'm terrible at it. I'm really terrible at it. The problem is that when I have that pressure of needing to communicate with people on a regular basis, like you do, and monitoring different things, and like you do in those types of situations, it's not that I become resentful. It's like I become avoidant, and I make up excuses not to do it or sit down and do it. And to tell you the truth, sometimes I feel like that with my podcast. And that's probably why I didn't podcast for most of COVID so far, because I have felt that way. And it is a completely internal thing. It has nothing to do with you guys, how you interact with me or anything, because I have never had anything but good things from you guys. There have been once or twice 1 or 2 negative comments, but obviously they've got bad taste, not me. Anyway, it's completely an internal thing. It's something I've struggled with my entire life. This idea of other people putting pressure, the thought in myself that other people, that external pressure, being annoying or confining, that has haunted me my entire life. And so I need to understand that about myself, and I don't know of a workaround. I mean, other than what's already gone on, which is Stephanie has stepped in and helped me tremendously whenever or sometimes I've had ideas for a knit along or something like that. She's pretty much stepped in and taken charge, because I'm great at ideas. It's the follow through that I often struggle with. Thus, I have so many WIPs, works in progress. I mean, I can't tell you how many I have. It's the follow through, and I'd like to work on that. Maybe that'll be one of my new goals for the year 2021, is follow through, completion, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, I've rambled on a little bit more, but there you go, guys. There's the podcast for today, and I want to thank you yet again for joining me, taking that precious time out of your day to sit down with me and listen to my rambling stories and tales of excitement and tales of woe. Thank you so much. You honor me, and I want you to know that I really appreciate you. I love you all, whether you have messaged me or not, because it's that energy that you're putting out there towards me that I feel, and it is sacred to me. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. So remember, guys, to knit what you love and love what you knit. Ta-ta for now.